This past weekend was the 125th version of the Army versus Navy football game. Perhaps one of the greatest, most historic rivalries in college football, in my view, one of the most important rivalries of college football. Because a lot of people are forgetting the fact that these aren't just a bunch of high school kids looking for an easy path to the NFL. These guys, these young men, are not just football players at college. These people, these young men, are training to become second lieutenants and ensigns in the United States Navy, Army, and Marine Corps. This is why this game is more important than any other rivalry game out there. Now, a lot of you know that I'm an Ohio State football fan. And that one game in November against that team up north, I look forward to every year. But this is more important because we all forget that even if these kids are drafted into the NFL, they still have to serve their country as military officers. And a lot of them don't want to go into the NFL, and a lot of them want to continue to serve their country. And I find that pretty heroic. But the fact is, this past weekend, it was sour for me. Donald Trump, the president-elect, J.D. Vance, the vice president-elect, Pete Hegseth, his nominee for Secretary of Defense, the current Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, and Elon Musk were at the game. Now, here's a photo of Donald Trump giving a military salute, practically insulting our troops. Now, regardless of how you feel about the Vietnam War or not, what feelings you might have whether you supported it or whether you didn't support it, the fact is, Donald Trump, he didn't protest against the war. He didn't accept induction. All he did was look for a way out of it. He got 5 deferments from the Vietnam War. Instead of standing up like a man and going into the military service, or protesting against the war like another great athlete, Muhammad Ali, did, he decided to turn into a coward. And here he is in this photo giving a stupid salute, thinking that he's going to pretend to be a soldier. And to add insult to an already destructive situation, these idiots invited this man, Daniel Penny. Now, in case you don't know who that is, he's the guy who got away with murder of a homeless man on a New York City subway train. Just when you think that Donald Trump and his supporters couldn't get any lower, there's another sub-basement just waiting in the wings. Instead of Donald Trump and his entourage focusing on the game, instead of focusing on the young men that at some point, and I know and I believe this wholeheartedly, that at some point that Donald Trump or his entourage, especially Pete Hegseth, will send into a combat zone, whether it is somewhere abroad or as Donald Trump has threatened to do in our own country. Those young men and those young women in the stands, because the brigade of cadets from the Army and the midshipmen of the Navy will no doubt be deployed into an American city to enforce Donald Trump's own policy. They're the ones who are going to be on the front lines of it. And not Donald Trump, not J.D. Vance, not Pete Hegseth, not Elon Musk, not Mike Johnson, or anyone else who was with them that day. Just for the sake of making this game, as I said before, one of the most important football games in football, into a publicity stunt. And frankly, it was sick. Now, I still watch the game, but if the camera ever went to Donald Trump or any of them, I would turn it in a heartbeat. Thankfully, it didn't happen. Thankfully, CBS Sports didn't allow that to happen. But do you really care about what these kids are going through right now? A lot of them going to the NFL may not be an option for them. They might not get drafted at all. But those who make it through the 4 years of training in Annapolis and at West Point will become officers of our armed forces. They were going to take the oath to serve and protect the Constitution of the United States of America. The same oath that you, Pete Hegseth, took when you became an Army officer. But apparently, for you, that was just optional. Apparently, and especially when it comes to Donald Trump, when he takes the oath of office in January. We know he's not going to mean it. And we know he's going to violate it at every turn. But the sad part about this is that you took perhaps one of the most important football games in this country, in this sport, and you made it into a publicity stunt for yourself. And that makes me sick. That makes me totally physically sick that you would do such a thing. Shame on you. It's bad enough that we have to suffer 4 years of us watching our backs because you have some sort of power trip. I'm president of the United States. I can do whatever the hell I want. I can kill whoever I want. Because that's what your mindset is, Trump. It's bad enough that we have to watch our backs with you for the next 4 years. And that you dirty one of the few things I can look to get away from politics, to get away from the nightmare that is Donald Trump. You did that. All of you did. And I feel sorry for those kids out there that were playing their hearts out. The Navy won against the Army. A one-loss Army team that won their conference championship. I feel sorry for those kids. Because to you, Trump, and to you, Hegseth, to you, Johnson, to you, Vance, and especially to you, Musk, they mean nothing to you. They're just cannon fodder as long as you can make some money off of it. Shame on you. And shame on this country for letting it happen. Do yourself a favor, Trump. When you get in the White House, don't you ever go out. Because quite honestly, I am sick to death of hearing about you, your cabinet, your family. I'm physically sick of hearing your goddamn voice badmouth our country and claiming that you're the only one who can save it. That's how sick you've made this country. And watching you march around trying to the fist bump every time the camera was on you was sickening. You need to understand that this was not about you. These was about those kids who playing football, those kids who may fight in the next war that you will start, Trump. The fact is, Trump, you crossed the line with me on this. And I know it's not going to be the last time. I just hope that those kids out there see you for the monster you are. And they serve with their morality and remember their oath, that their oath to serve is the country and the Constitution, not Donald Trump. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.